Hello, this is Kings of the Ice, a new podcast about figure skating, and in this episode we will be discussing European Figure Skating Championships that took place in Kaunas, Lithuania. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. This episode we are going to be discussing both men's short and ladies short, and in the next episode we are going to be covering men's and ladies free. So, the first three groups of men, I would say that we had almost everything that needs to be done in the first three groups, which means the first triple axel, some very, very weird landings, and of course the very first exogenesis by Muse, because we all know that there are no good competition without exogenesis by Muse, which I really, really hope will be banned in the future. But let's jump to the group 3 and to the last competitor of this group, who was Aleksandr Selevko from Estonia. And he was actually the first who kind of rock and roll the competition. And if you guys don't like the spoilers, please stop listening. But I really, really believe that you all already know that Aleksandr Selevko is the biggest surprise of the event. As for his short, he actually did a triple Lutz, a triple toe loop. That was a really, really nice combination. I think that the nicest of the first three groups. And also a cigarette break in the middle of the show. I would say that his performance was the first one that actually had all the boxes green. Oh, and before we get to the group number 4, I'm gonna also say that in this episode we are gonna be talking about 3 heartbreaks of the whole event, 3 biggest heartbreaks, because I believe that all of the 3 happened during both men and ladies short. But that we're going to be talking about next. I think it was an English grammar mistake, but never mind that. Let's go ahead and talk about Look Economy Days, who actually started group number 4. I don't really get the idea of the costume. Good performance, though. Lots of head work there. And then I think that Mauricio Zandron, like the opposite of Look Economy Days, had a very cool costume, but unlike Look Economy Day, a little bit wobbly skate. In the group number 5, we had Adam Hagara, with a little bit disturbing details by his boots that look a little bit like undone shoelaces, but that didn't stop him from performing very well. And then, oh boy, guess what? We have the first heartbreak of the event, and it was Mikhail Selevko himself, Alexander's brother. Not at the same level as him at this competition. Very nice costume, but it was devastating to watch both his emotions in the kiss and cry and his brother's reactions on the stand. So, yeah, there we had the very first heartbreaking moment of the men event. The last one of the 5 group, the 6th one, that I feel is very, very worth mentioning is Gabriele Frangipani from Italy, the first big combo of the event. Quadruple two loop, triple two loop. Now let's jump into the group number 6, and since this is the last group, it's also the strongest one, so we're going to be talking about these performances in a bit more details. So first one was Lukas Brycki from Switzerland, and we had the second big combination of jumps plus triple axel landed very cleanly. The second one, Deniss Vasiļjevs from Latvia, coached by Stefan Lambiel, is actually one of my favorites, but oh gosh, he struggles with consistency so much. I like that his music choice, Hallelujah, pretty basic and everybody knows the song, but still he managed to find a nice cover and a little bit unknown. Did he change his short? Because I think that previously he didn't have that one, but please correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah, speaking about things that were nice, beautiful spins as always, including his trademark one, which gets faster and faster, I think. And then quadruple salchow with a mistake. Though honestly, I don't recall him doing it clean this season whatsoever, and I really think that maybe he might be considering giving it up until it gets more stable. Then we had Nika Egadze from Georgia, who used Ave Maria, and I think I'm not gonna comment on that choice. And I think you know why. And yeah, I would say that Ave Maria is at the same level as Exogenesis for me. Please do not use overused songs. Please. Then we have Adam Xiao Himfa from France, and I know, guys, you are waiting for it because, as you may know, he's a new European champion. I think that you are not the only one who know that. I would be really surprised if you didn't. Everybody talks about him, not only people who are interested in figure skating. I would say that his backflip was a thing that was discussed a lot more wider, shared on Instagram, on TikTok, and I really love it. But yeah, before we talk about his free skating, let's focus on his short. He showed us quadruple lutz with so dangerous mistake with his face actually close to the ground, but textbook triple axel, marvelous step sequence with trademark acrobatic jumps. And now, by the contrast, from Adam Xiao Himfan, who is a newly crowned European champion, but remember, we are still in the short program. Let's jump to the penultimate competitor. It's the second biggest heartbreak of the event, like the whole event, not only men's short. It's Kevin Amos from France. You might know it from the first episode, one of my favorite skaters, very artistic, very emotional. The amount of applause he got was like he was from a hosting country, but it didn't prevent him from absolutely bombing his performance. His first jump was a flip, and he actually popped it, making it single, and then he fell on the triple axel, lost his second jump of the combination, and next he gives us the same giving up vibe as during the French championships. You wouldn't say that it was the same guy who only 2.5 months ago placed second in Skate America only after United States of America, Ilya Malinin, and who was third in S2. He's the same guy. It's Kevin Amos. And then he started to unlace his skates even before the results announcements, as if he wanted to get out of there as fast as possible, ending up on 31st place and not qualifying at all. So the second very big heartbreak of the event. And the last one was Matteo Rizzo from Italy, who also popped the first jump, just like Kevin, but the rest of the program was fine and good enough to be in the 6th after the short. So, moving on, let's start with women's short. Women's short started more or less like men's short, which means, guess what? Yes, you guessed it, Exogenesis-by-Muse, because as we established, there is no competition without Exogenesis-by-Muse, no matter what part. And then after few other mandatory elements of any event, meaning few tangos and few red dresses later, let's jump to group number 2, where we have Antonina Dubinina from Serbia, and a special mention for her coach, sitting so far away from her in the kiss and cry with a straight cold face. It was actually disturbing and worth mentioning. Please do not behave like this, please, to all of the coaches on the world. Then we had Christina Isaev from Germany with first sassy performance of the event, like the dress, the smile, gargantuan amount of bronzer on her cheeks. That's why we're here for, aren't we? And sassy performances especially need clean performing and clean jump, so well done, Christina managed it. And from that moment we had a new leader, shortly though, because then Nina Povey came out and ate at 29 years old, proving that mature women also can skate, which I think is fantastic. Group number 3, Emmy Peltonen from Finland. Emotion Queen title goes to her for using shockingly dramatic version of Je suis malade and showing even more dramatic spins by the end of it, which I loved. Then in group number 4, we had Livia Kaiser from Switzerland opening it, and special mention for her costume actually, being both original, crop top in the upper part, which is not very popular, and also fitting the music mood very well. It was very interesting to watch. As a third competitor of the group, we had Josephine Talligard from Sweden, and another great performance from a woman at her nearly 30s after Nina Povey, which makes me genuinely happy and optimistic in the future, as we can see again that not only teenagers can deliver. Then one of my favorites, I wouldn't say she's my favorite skater, but I'm definitely very interested in her, Lara Naki Gutman from Italy. Really special mention to her. She's my girl to watch for and to cheer for in the future, as she has a somewhat original style, not bothering to use any fairy tale-ish music nor image. She's quirky, she's brave, and she's a warrior, I can tell you, in both short and in this Hitchcock-inspired free as well. Then we had Julia Soter from Romania. Our costume was not actually to my taste, but that would be injustice, and not to mention that apart from the costume, she's got some personality and performed at the top of her game. And now moving up to the last group, the group number 6, and the first one to open it. Of course, the first one is always the one to open it. So the first one to open it, because I like to make the same mistakes that I just... Never mind. So the first one was Lauren Shield from France with blue dress with a sassy song, which I'm not sure it's a good combination. Anyway, during her performance, it was a small highlight of the event with a lady crocheting calmly like a boss, just in the heat of the last warming up group. Anyway, then we had Nina Pinzarone from Belgium, somebody to compete with Luna, I would say, with crystal clean performance and fantastic speed on spins, resulting in a leading position at that moment. Third one was Kimi Repon from Switzerland, who placed third during the last European Championships, but I wouldn't say she was at the top of her game. And the fourth one, the Queen, Luna Hendrickx, one of my favorite skaters. Well, you know, her unique style, her music choices, her sass, her spins centered like a needle. It was all there. Then we had someone that we all nervously were waiting for. Why? Because she was the one to be able to take gold from Luna, and the second contender for the gold, and the one who actually took gold from Luna the last year. Anastasiia Gubanova, originally from Russia, representing Georgia though. Such a contrast comparing to Luna's performance. That's what I wanted to say and what I expected, but I would be wrong, both in terms of technique and womanly style, which Anastasiia wasn't famous from. She always was, you know, the one who was more delicate, balletic. She was that kind of skater, and there she was, wearing a red, sexy jumpsuit, skating to playful song and playing to the audience, just like a more elegant version of Loena, and certainly like a champion from the last year who didn't want it to give up that easily. She wasn't disappointing, but her scores at that moment were. And then we have the third biggest heartbreak of the event, Yekaterina Kurakova. And she had better dress than at the beginning of the season, but unbelievably, the same girl who placed 4th last year, because of lots of mistakes and even a time violation this year, didn't even qualify for the free, just as surprisingly as Kevin Amos. And I would say Katja really had her Kevin Amos moment, and she was the third heartbreak of the event, and somehow still managed to smile. More to come, because next we're gonna be covering men's free and ladies free, so stay tuned. That's all for now. Take care and have a great day.